What's going on YouTube? Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at Mega Series SDT-03 Apollo, otherwise known as the Not Omega Supreme in Super Deformed. Box is pretty darn large, actually. Not lots of nice looks to it. You get a little Prime figure. Let's open them up and take a look. Here's everything that comes in the box. Apollo, some kibble, which we will attach to Apollo here in a moment, and this little Optimus Prime figure. We're going to start off by talking about the little Optimus Prime figure that the set comes with. The figure itself is okay looking. The red looks very, very strange, along with the white. I'm not sure what's going on with the actual coloring of the plastic. It doesn't look quite right, and it doesn't feel quite right either. All of the joints feel really unpleasant and creaky and not very fun to play with. I like the overall look of the figure, but he's not assembled well, and I don't think the quality of the plastic is going to hold up over time. It is nicely painted, however. When comparing Prime to the Megatron that came with Diabolus Rex, or Diablos Rex, the Megatron is just way, way better. The quality of the plastic, the overall appearance, and just the overall structure of the figure is much, much better than the Prime. I'm a little bit worried going forward if they keep including these little figures, because I don't think the Prime quality is all that great. Now, as I said during the Diablos Rex review, just give me like a couple of these figures for like 10 to 15 bucks a pop. I'd buy all of them. For a quick size comparison, Prime is bigger than a Titan Master, but half the size of a current Legends class figure. Taking an up-close look at Apollo, he is very well detailed and built like a tank. The quality of the figure feels incredibly well, and it really reminds me of a Gundam model painted and stickered up very beautifully. Overall aesthetic of the figure is quite nice. He's hefty and he holds together very well. There are a few little weird issues though. The sliders here on the wrists don't really lock into place, and that's about it. You do have some posability in the figure, a lot of nice, super tight ratchets. And I'm sure my friend Thu would really like some of these ratchets. I mean, listen to some of these things. The figure does have lights. Unfortunately, you have to supply batteries on your own. And they're not just little double or AAA batteries. In fact, they're very large watch batteries, specifically C.F.R. 2032. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to get... Oh, and I'm sorry, the LR44 as well. I have not been able to get a hold of any of these. I've not been able to get to a store to buy them, so unfortunately, no lights on my review. I do apologize for that. The spots where he lights up are here in his eyes, in his cannon mode, and here along the chest. I think the face is actually the weakest point of the figure, and I've never liked Omega Supreme's face. That's just a personal thing. One thing that is cool, though, is these yellow bits right on the side can make his eyes and mouth frown and open if you wiggle them up and down. You can push the faceplate up, like so, and then you can see the mouth opening and the scowl forming. So you do have that bit of posability. I just normally leave it closed because that's the way I like it, though I do appreciate the extra effort they went to mold that in. Now, as you saw before, we have a rocket here that is made up of components that will fit on his hands. So we pop these pieces apart. These sections will go over the fists along with these sections. So these will actually pull apart, and that's the hardest part of the transformation, is to pull these apart. Then we take the hands, which are individually articulated with fingers are individually articulated, collapse the front fingers, and then roll them up and slide one of these bits over the hand, peg it into the wrist part, and then snap this section and this section over the fists. With the original G1 parts completely added on, what you end up with is an absolutely fantastic looking SD version or super deformed version of Omega Supreme. It's an absolutely wonderful figure. And the one thing I forgot to show off was the posability in his legs. He has a wide range of possibilities in the legs and in the arms, thanks to some very, very well-designed and tight ratchet joints. Overall, it's an absolutely joy to fiddle with this guy. And he just looks so good. And of course, I have to compare Apollo to Diablos Rex here. Diablos being one of my favorite all-time third-party figures. And together, these two city or base bots look just stunning. Before we get into Apollo's full transformation, there is one little thing that I need to show you. His hammer. To form the hammer, we first need to pull off the, coverings of the fists. Then we come up to the part that is the front of the rocket mode and reach inside just beyond under the tip and open up these sections. And then we take the entire hammer or sections, combine them, then fold up the red claws all the way, like so. And then fold these bits down along the sides. And you can take off this yellow piece or you can leave it on. It's your choice. I prefer to pull it off. Now, we come to the back of the figure, and along the wings, we will pull off these white pieces that will combine together and combine with the hammer part. So we push that section, push that section in, and I think I chose the wrong side. There we go. Get that sectioned in, put that in, combine it with this part, and then the figure can hold this giant freaking hammer. Apollo's hands each have this little hole in it for the hammer peg, and just get that thumb situated, plug it in, wrap the fingers around it, and then just situate the hammer and pose him as you will. So we can get some nice little hammer time going. And he holds the hammer with no problem whatsoever. The only minor issue with the hammer has to do with the shaft of the, pole. It's not entirely tight enough, or there's not enough friction between the two pieces sometimes in certain poses to keep it steady. But overall, it works pretty well. Getting into the transformation next, we're going to start off with by coming to the back of the figure, grabbing the red section here, pulling it down so you open up this trap door, then lifting the head straight up and off the body. Then we can grab the backpack that we just pulled down and pull it off the body itself. And finally come to the torso, grab the torso, and just pull it apart like that. So you're left with the legs, the torso arms, the backpack, and the head. And to transform the head, we grab the wheels or treads here, fold them out all the way, turn the head around like that, and, that's pretty much it. Oh, and extend the cannon barrel. That's it. That's all she wrote. That's his cannon mode. Next, with the legs, we're going to take each leg and fold them straight back, pointing towards the butt of the robot mode. Then fold them out and twist them so that the outside of the leg is pointing up towards where the torso was. Take the feet and fold the feet completely flush against the bottom of what were the inside of the legs here. Take these yellow pieces, turn them so that they are pointing down and flush against the ground. Push on these white sections to pop them up and flip them out to form I don't know what. And then reach underneath the crotch and flip out this little bridge. And there we go. That's part of the base mode transformed right there. Now, we're going to go to the next part, and that is going to be the arms. And this is really kind of dumb, because you're supposed to take this part, this little peg hole, and attach it to the back over here. Once you've got that back part plugged in, what you're going to do is take the arms and turn them such that you can turn the arms around and turn the fists. These fists will act as holders or holsters for the rocket. Next, we take the backpack, which has this little peg hole in it, which will peg into a peg hole that's right on the inside of the torso. And this section will actually act as the upper holder for the rocket mode. And then we just kind of let it rest in there. And I'm sorry, I said that there was a peg in here. There really isn't. I've been trying to see if I can get the red part to peg onto this section here, but it hasn't worked out that well. I figured it was, pegging right here, but it's too wide and I can't get the red piece down far enough. I was also wondering if it's supposed to be like this, or, I'm sorry, folded, I'm breaking things. Fold it up a little bit more, but and then this whole section would peg into that, but it doesn't work like that either. If you're wondering why I don't look at the directions aren't very clear either. It just kind of sits there. Doesn't peg in at all, or at least there are no arrows showing it does. The last bit of the transformation is to simply peg the bottom of the rocket into the peg that is sticking up from the center of what was the upper crotch, and that's his base mode. It's really boring. It just looks like a jumbled bit of parts with a rocket attached to it. And a little tank. I appreciate the effort. I really do. I think the design isn't too bad. The execution, though, I'm not a fan of this alt mode at all. They really didn't have much to work with, though. If they were going for a G1 aesthetic, then this is what they were going to have to do. I'm just not a fan of it. The Apollo set on a whole is really something neat, but I do have some issues with it. I'm not a huge fan of this little Prime figure. I think it could be better. And I'm not a fan of Apollo's alt mode or base mode or whatever the heck it is. His robot mode is absolutely amazing, and I can't think of anything to improve it. He's got a lot of options. He's got real hands. He's got his classic modes, and he's got a giant freaking battle hammer like Gao-Gai-Gar. Overall, the bot mode is phenomenal. The base mode, though, I personally do not care for it. Now, you guys might, and that's perfectly fine. That's why I do these reviews, is to give you guys options. If you buy this, will you keep it in robot mode or will you keep it in base mode? Me personally, robot mode all the way. So gang, thank you for watching this video review. As always, I am Baltmatrix. I see you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you next time.